Hi there, it's Caroline Mutoko, and over the last couple of years, sometimes you see me in a very official setting and you know it is tax season. So I will start this by saying, file your tax returns. Don't wait for 30th June. It's not the smart thing to do. I know you're a Kenyan, but there you are. However, a couple of days ago, I posted on my IG and my Facebook and I asked you, do you know what the KRA Tax Amnesty is about? Hey, on the poll alone, 51% said they do not know. Karibu nianguke. But then again, let's be fair, when I came to meet you the first time, I did not know.
Sure.
I did not know. Nami and the Kimenyi of all Kimenyis. So if I do not know, nani anajua?
Who should?
Yes. So I need you to introduce yourself. And so that I can get down to the questions they all asked about tax amnesty. By the way, I want to start this conversation by saying it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Stay with us.
Okay.
Yeah?
Thank you very much, Carol. My name is Miriam Wairimu, and I work for the Kenya Revenue Authority under the Corporate Taxpayer Accounts Management Division. I'm the one who is currently running the Amnesty program.
I want to start with the questions they asked. Hey, walinikujia. Charles, Gitao, Joe said, please tell me, what is a KRA tax amnesty and how does one qualify for the amnesty? Joseph Chiaji.
A tax amnesty is just forgiveness that is conditional.
Okay.
Conditional forgiveness.
Okay.
But the tax amnesty that we are running this year or from last year is amnesty on interest and penalties. We are forgiving interest and penalties. When a taxpayer gets a PIN, and as you know, you're supposed to get a PIN. Most of the time when you go to university, you need loan. You will need a PIN. In case you need, you have a business, you'll need a PIN. In case you want a DL,
you need a PIN.
So there are so many transactions that are mandated for one to have a PIN, a KRA PIN to transact. So when you get a PIN, it is required of you to be filing a return every year based on the obligation you have.
Yes.
When you get a PIN, the default obligation you're given is income tax individual. That requires you to file your return once a year before June. From January to June of every year, you're supposed to be filing your return. But if you get the other obligation like VAT, pay as you earn, you're supposed to be filing your returns every year. So if you get a PIN and you don't file your return, you get interest and
a penalty.
So the first one, you get penalties because you did not file. If you file and you fail to pay, or you pay part of the amount you're supposed to pay, you get interest and penalties too. And also sometimes you find a taxpayer under declares. You're supposed to declare to say you're supposed to pay 10 million and instead you say you owe KRA 9 million.
Yes.
When an audit is done, they will raise an extra 1 million, which will also attract interest and penalties. So that is how interest and penalties arise.
Okay.
And that is what we're giving forgiveness on, as long as you pay the principal taxes before 30th of June. 2024.
Okay.
Yes.
I also know, and I know this came up, but I want to stay with everybody who's, you know, getting into the, I call it welcome to nation building. Because remember, actually, even if you're late on the 30th of June, you incur a penalty the next day. Yes, you're late. But, and then when you do not pay that penalty attracts interest. And the amnesty is saying that we are forgiving that penalty and the interest, but apply for it. Yes.
Okay.
Is that true?
Yeah. It's true.
Okay.
To some extent.
Ask for forgiveness.
Yes. When you have interest and penalties, there are two amnesties we are. Let me say we have two structures of how we are running the amnesty. The first category is what we are calling automatic amnesty. For automatic amnesty, you don't need to apply, and these are taxpayers who did not have any principal taxes in their accounts. Maybe they filed a return late last year, and they paid the principal amount. So as we speak, as we look into this amnesty, they don't have principal taxes to pay. Those ones will get automatic amnesty and they will not need to apply.
So hold on. Esther Chibole Asila said, I got a certificate without applying for it. Is it valid?
Exactly. Now
Esther,
that is,
it's valid.
Yes. Now that is what we are calling automatic amnesty. And that explains why sometimes when you log in, some people are getting certificates without doing anything. It means they have gotten the automatic amnesty. But still now we have the second category. If you have principal taxes in your account, you have not paid. Those ones will now need to make the application so that now upon payment, they will get the amnesty.
Hold. Yes. Ruth Ngare, she asked that question you just answered, but yes. I know you're going to have to add something to it. She says, what do you mean by tax amnesty? Is it interest and the penalties or the whole amount?
Okay.
So you're forgiving her the interest and the penalties only. Provided
the principal amount is fully paid.
And the amnesty program has been running since September last year.
Yes.
Misi kujua ningewambi. So please don't be mad at me. However, now that we are, literally, the clock is ticking yes. to 30th June, the sooner you get on the portal,
yes.
apply for your own payment plan because
yes.
KRA is allowing you. So can you imagine those who knew in September they had 9 months?
Exactly.
Yes, so they paid for it slowly. And when they finish, they now get their amnesty. And you get an amnesty certificate.
Yes.
Nyawera Waigwa actually said, I got mine. I didn't even know you get an amnesty certificate.
Yes.
Why are you giving us an amnesty certificate?
Okay. For us, number one, to build trust among taxpayers.
Okay.
Because they don't want, some of them maybe might have been suspecting maybe KRA is not genuine about this. For us to build trust,
okay.
we need to be accountable as you commit to apply for amnesty and pay. As KRA, we are also mandated to be accountable to you and give you a document that confirms we have already forgiven you the interest and penalties. So immediately you pay per period. If a taxpayer has 5 periods and they pay 2, you will get amnesty certificate for the 2. And for the periods that you will not have paid by June 30th, those are the only periods you will not get a certificate and you will not get amnesty. But for the periods you will have paid the entire principal taxes by June, you will get your amnesty certificate. And when you look at your ledger, you'll find it has been, the interest and penalties have been removed from your statement.
So it's malipo pole pole, but every time you get a milestone, you get rewarded for it.
Yes. Okay. If you have 10 months, you'll get 10 certificates.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. No, this is somebody actually validating what you've just said. Talk to Charles, that's his handle. He says, I took the chance and all my outstanding penalties were nullified. They even gave me an amnesty certificate, which is what you're saying.
Yes.
So you see, Siporojo, it is true.
It's true.
Okay, there's somebody here who said, they talked about their business, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have to bring this up. Otherwise, watanikujia, because they don't know where to find you. Peter Gitao says, my company was incorporated in November 2022. Upon filing my 2022-23 tax returns, Karen says that I filed for 2021-22, but my company did not exist then, and they went ahead to impose a fine of 20,000 shillings. I have written, I have called, I don't know what to do. Should I apply for the amnesty?
Yes. For this taxpayer who was supposed to have filed the returns for the previous year, that is 2021-2022, once you file those returns, it will be a new return because you are not trading.
Okay.
You will get amnesty for the late filing.
Yes.
You will get amnesty. So you just need to apply it, file the returns and get amnesty for that period.
Fantastic. Yes. I just want to say this incidentally. For those of you who follow me on Facebook or IG, I'm allowing KRA to also respond to your queries on my page. Okay, so I mean, I will not block that. I'm actually opening that valve. So I know you've got a great team.
Exactly.
And I've been working with KRA since 2015. Mimi, iTax, compliant number 1. Let me see. Now, I want to talk to you about what biashara. Kujeni, come in. Businesses, more than anybody else, will probably be really relieved and excited about the amnesty. However, when I first met you, I got the sense that kuna jinsi kadhaa za ku sort out your issues. So I mean, biashara, I have principles I need to pay. I know the amnesty will forgive my penalties and interest, but it's not a one size fits all. So could you walk us through that, starting with the simplest?
There are many people who will need to qualify for this tax amnesty. There are some taxpayers who have outstanding principal taxes in their accounts. Maybe you declared because of one reason or another you were not able to pay the entire amount of principal taxes. Maybe because of COVID you fell into arrears of taxes. So this is the opportunity you've been given where, number one, we are giving you a payment plan that will not require approvals. Because previously when you came for a payment plan, we would check at your records and determine the number of installments we need you to pay.
What?
But during this amnesty, we are telling taxpayers, come as you are. Tell us what you want to pay. Make sure you adhere to that. We'll give you the amnesty. So taxpayers have been given the option of coming and saying the number of installments they want to pay, the principal amount. Once they pay, they get their amnesty. But still, we have other categories of taxpayer who might not be having these principal taxes, but still will need the amnesty.
Yes.
The first category I talked about is students.
Yes.
You will find there are students who got a PIN and they did not know they are supposed to be filing nil return every year.
Yeah.
If you don't file your returns up to date and come next year you want a job, you have graduated, you need a job, you'll be required to give a tax compliance certificate.
When
TCC
is not
apply,
possible.
yes, when you go to apply, you will be told you have to file all these returns.
Yes.
If you had not filed during amnesty period, it will be required of you to pay penalties for every year you did not file. So we are calling all students, just come, file your returns now.
Yes.
Make sure your accounts are regularized so that when the amnesty period is over, you will get amnesty on the accrued penalties because of failing to file. So that is category number 1.
Yes.
There is also another category of our maybe parents who have been trading in properties, or you are transferring land. You want, your shosho wants to give land to your parents. They took a PIN. After taking a PIN, they have not been filing. It means they will be accruing penalties of 2,000 every year for as long as they don't file. Wow. So we are calling them, if you have anybody with a PIN should be filing.
But in this case,
yes,
isn't it also for people like me who are, I call myself an in-betweener. Yes. I have my parents who are retired and I have my children. Yes. Shouldn't I make sure my parents, wherever they are, are filing, even if walitoka kazini?
Exactly.
Oh, mumesikia? Jot that down.
Yes, we are calling everybody to be our champion out there. Tell your sisters about this amnesty. Tell your parents about this amnesty. Yes. Tell your brothers and sisters who have traveled abroad, who took a PIN and they got a job in Germany. They have not been filing their returns. This is the time for them to regularize their tax accounts by filing their returns.
Wait.
Yes.
Diaspora Caribbean, kidogo, corporate Abuja stuck back kidogo. Are you saying I left here, I went to Boston, I went to Massachusetts, I went to Scotland, wherever, I'm in Cardiff.
Yes.
But I had a KRA PIN.
Exactly.
If I have not been filing my returns, I need to log on to the portal.
Exactly.
And make sure that, number one, I regular, and then I apply for the amnesty.
Yes.
On your penalties and interest.
Now for that category, if you are a non-filer and you come and file, immediately you finish filing. Once you finish filing your returns, the system will impose penalties.
Yes.
Because you are going to be filing new returns.
Yes.
It will impose penalties of 2,000 for every year you have not been filing.
Okay.
Once you log out and log in, it will give you amnesty automatically.
In my mind, as you were talking about our parents, so like people who retired, I'm sure, the last time they had an interaction with KRA was, when they used to pay. Now they've retired, they've gone, wako sawa.
Yes.
Until they have to transfer
property
or buy something. And then all of a sudden. So are you saying, even if you have left what we call formal employment, every year, file your nil?
And you have a PIN.
So long as you have a PIN?
Yes.
It cannot just be sitting, gathering dust.
No, but you have the option of requesting for cancellation of that PIN.
Of course.
In case you will not need the PIN, you can request for cancellation of the PIN. But as long as you have the PIN, it comes with income tax individual obligation, meaning you're supposed to be filing every year before June.
And if you do not have income, please file your nil returns.
Nil return, which is very easy to file. It does not take even 2 minutes. It's very easy.
And you also said something interesting. You said apply for cancellation. So for example, somebody wakes up today and goes to, I don't know, Texas.
Yes.
And they know they're not using it.
Yes.
They should apply
for cancellation of the PIN.
Because as long as that PIN is active, it will attract
penalties if you don't file.
There you go.
Exactly.
Na munasemanga siwaambiangi mazuri. So, I wanted to know, back to watu wa biashara, rudini hapa. So, those two categories you've spoken about make perfect sense. How about those of us who have taken you to court?
Okay. Okay, we have taxpayers who, because of one reason or another, we have disagreed. Audited,
yes,
and we disagreed.
We have disagreed.
We have disagreed on the amount.
Don't have your 5 million.
Exactly. For that category, we're encouraging them to consider withdrawing their cases from court so that they can take advantage of this tax amnesty. And why are we encouraging them to take their cases out of court? Because if a case is going through this litigation process, you have no control of the timelines. No. You have no control of how long the case will take in court.
Or the outcome.
Yes, or the outcome. But we're encouraging taxpayers to consider withdrawing their cases so that they can take advantage of the amnesty before June.
You have been amazing. You know, for me, when I left here and I said, acha niwaulize hawa watu wangu if they know about tax amnesty.
Yes.
When we did that poll, 51% said hawajui.
I was shocked.
Yes. So was I. I was like, okay, now we have to unpack this thing.
Exactly.
And I will say this, you have unpacked it beautifully. In fact, what we need to do is bid each other goodbye so guys can log on.
Okay.
Yes. We hope the servers at KRA can handle us because we have decided amnesty tunapata.
Yes, we have to get amnesty.
I think my job and hers is done. Okay? So log on and take advantage of this amnesty. It's real. Yes. It's real.